In 2020, a collectively bad year, contemporary R&B artist Giveon experienced breakout success. The catalyst was a feature on Drake's top 20 hit Chicago Freestyle. Taking advantage of this massive cosign, Giveon quickly followed up with 2 EPs, Take Time and Later, When It's All Said and Done. By releasing multiple projects as a new artist amid an unprecedented global pandemic, Giveon showed fearlessness at a time when many shied away from releasing new material, and his risk paid off. Giveon's debut project is now Grammy-nominated. He has over 70 million streams worldwide, and he's only getting started. In this video, we discover who is Giveon. They say it takes 10,000 hours to reach expertise. Have you ever considered the possibility that you might be unknowingly working towards greatness? Well, that's what happened to Giveon.
Sometimes it's soft as steaming that gently touches my soul.
On February 21st, 1995, Giveon Desmond Evans was born.
My mom told me that she picked that name so I would somehow end up being someone that gives.
Giveon grew up alongside 3 brothers on the east side of Long Beach, California, a place he described to Okayplayer as fun, dangerous, and interesting all at the same time, but also saying his mother did a good job of making sure his brothers and him didn't become a product of their environment. His mother, a nurse, worked the night shift, coming home every morning to get them ready for school. Giveon recalls waking up to music his mother often played it while she cleaned. Realizing she only played it when happy, Giveon came to associate music with good days. His mother listened to West Coast rap and, as he would say, black woman heartbreak music from artists like Mary J. Blige, Sade, Anita Baker, and Denise Williams. The latter would form the foundation of his artistry, teaching him melody and how to connect emotionally. To his annoyance, his mother would play the same songs over and over again, but he would eventually find himself singing along. Giveon's mother, recognizing his talent,
she would start having me sing to family members at birthday parties just to be like, look, he can sing. And then I'm singing to like my 30-year-old uncles, and it's just like, I'm like, right now, he turning 30. Like, he don't want me singing to
but
him.
Why
I'm
you
8.
Right.
I am 8 years old. So, but what I didn't realize is like just singing the songs and stuff over and over, like I was building my craft again, like secretly doing those 10,000 hours and not even realizing it.
Here's an early clip of Giveon singing. I'm inclined to believe this is him, as it's labeled with his full government name and takes place at the now defunct DeMille Middle School in Long Beach. Things would take a turn for the worse when Giveon went through puberty and his voice deepened. He thought his new voice sounded weird because it was so different from the male vocalists he admired like Frank Ocean and Miguel. Thinking he had lost it, Giveon traded in singing for writing. Initially, Giveon was writing 40-page stories. He recalls his first story being about 4 brothers that were separated in their teenage years but had to come back together in their adulthood to save their mother's life. Realizing the value of brevity, Giveon transformed these long stories into 3-minute songs. Writing allowed him to liberate himself from his hypermasculine environment. Through his mother, Giveon learned empathy, but he didn't always feel comfortable conveying his emotions, but found refuge in his pen. Giveon would later further develop his skills through 3 semesters of creative writing courses at Long Beach City College. While a student at Long Beach Polytechnic High School, Giveon took up wrestling, experienced heartbreak for the first time, and I believe he also fell in love with music as a creative at this time after hearing Frank Ocean's Thinking About You. At 18, Giveon participated in a week-long camp at the Grammy Museum where he met his long-term mentor Skylar O'Neal, a producer and an artist who worked there. In Giveon's Apple Up Next interview, Sky said that when he first heard Giveon sing, he wasn't sure how to feel about Giveon's voice, but he knew he felt something. Giveon's perception of his voice would change when he got invited by the Grammy Museum to perform Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon. Unfamiliar with Frank Sinatra, he went to YouTube to find the song and was in awe at finally hearing a singer with his tone. In the comments, Giveon came across the word baritone and began going down a rabbit hole listening to singers like Barry White and Bobby Caldwell. Not sure if it's related to the Fly Me to the Moon performance, but through the Grammy Museum, he was able to perform for the First Lady, Michelle Obama. Rediscovering the beauty of his voice made him consider a career in music.
"'Cause you're a good girl and you know it. I know exactly who you could be. Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. It's hard to do these things alone."
Giveon released an EP, This Is Pretty Cool. He began working with his mentor Skylar on music.
I didn't know what I wanted to sound like, what I wanted to do. I would just come in here and be like, so what's going on? That's when I realized I don't have a sound. I don't have anything to talk about. I'm not an artist yet.
So Giveon decided to get a job to make ends meet while he developed his artistry. Giveon worked at Chuck E. Cheese before dropping out of Long Beach City College in 2015 and then began working at Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, a touristy Forrest Gump themed restaurant that sometimes required him to wear a shrimp suit.
Fun fact, on his third interview.
Yes, I said third interview.
Oh, you want me to clean the table or not?
Yeah.
On my way there, I seen this this girl.
Yeah.
And she had this is when she had the like ginger orange hair. And it was SZA, and I was like, I sang for her.
Right.
And then she was like, wow, like that's amazing. Like she told me like come hang out like at the studio. I think she was even nice enough to give me her number.
I was destroying her phone.
Giveon took this job at Bubba Gump Shrimp thinking he would be there for 2 years max, but wound up there for much longer. In 2017, Giveon released Vanish on SoundCloud and it got 5,000 plays. While the external validation motivated him, he ended up taking it down thinking the song wasn't his style, but in actuality it just needed refinement, which is why it ends up 3 years later on Take Time. In 2018, Giveon released the single Garden Kisses, which received praise on Hot New Hip Hop. He premiered the video through a feature on Flaunt. A few months later, he released Fields. These singles were supposed to be a part of a 4-track EP, Viridian Inn, which never materialized. That year, Giveon also modeled for Guess Jeans and would do so again in January 2019. Guess recently posted him on their Instagram, so he either has a long-term professional relationship with them or he just likes the brand. In late 2018, Giveon told himself that he was going to quit his job at Bubba Gump Shrimp by his next birthday, and he did. One day, Giveon, fed up while in the Shrimp Louie costume, was asked by a kid to take a picture and he told him, nah man. He quit with no plans for what was next and was unemployed for a while before taking up a hustle as a dog walker. In March 2019, Giveon posted this photo with the caption, "This has to work." This is likely around the time Seven Thomas, a Canadian Grammy-nominated producer who has worked with Drake, Rihanna, and the Carters, discovered him and invited him to the studio. They hit it off, and when Seven established Not So Fast with Epic Records, he signed Giveon. Giveon is under Isla Management, founded in 2018 by Simon Gabrelou, a fellow Canadian and friend of Seven Thomas, who recently made the 30 Under 30 list. Giveon credits his management with his growth due to them putting him in rooms with some of the best writers and producers in the world. In June 2019, DJ Booth listed Giveon as one of 5 emerging R&B artists you need to hear. A month later, he did an unplugged performance at the Soho House.
Believe I save us now. If you really love me, say it now. Why you take so hard?
In the fall, to even his own surprise, he held a songwriting camp sponsored by Remy Martin and Asics. Giveon released his first single, Like I Want You, in November. Through one of the song's writers, Marcus Samaj, and Seven, Snow Allegra became aware of him and invited Giveon to open for her on her A Mini tour again. Giveon has said that many people couldn't believe that this was his first tour, which he believes comes from the fact that he had been building up for this moment his entire life, through his mother forcing him to sing in his youth and doing small gigs as an adult. At the LA show, SZA, the woman he was a bugaboo to a few years ago, came backstage to tell him he was dope. Giveon played himself by asking her if she remembered him. At first she didn't, bringing him relief, but then the memory came back to her, forcing him to relive the agony.
I was like, no, please don't.
Don't do this.
She's like, I remember it. I was like, oh.
In January 2020, Giveon tweeted, "All I want for my birthday is my first million streams." And his wishes come true tenfold. It is now certified gold. The next single Giveon released was Heartbreak Anniversary, which was unexpectedly followed by Drake's Chicago Freestyle. The response to the collab was interesting, with some people mistaking him for Sampha and others thinking his voice wasn't real. Giveon told Billboard that people's perceptions of him changed overnight. The timing of this massive collab couldn't have been better because Giveon already had a project completed. Initially, Giveon's team second-guessed releasing his EP due to the start of the pandemic, but ultimately decided to move forward. On March 27, 2020, Giveon released his debut major label EP, Take Time, which is now Grammy-nominated for Best R&B Album. Take Time is Giveon's life's work. It's inspired by the experiences of himself and his friends. Giveon synthesizes these different sources to tell the story of a failed relationship phase by phase. It begins with infatuation, then turmoil, and finally heartbreak. Giveon chose heartbreak as the theme because it's something that everyone experiences. The project runs 24 minutes and has 8 tracks in honor of the late great Kobe Bryant. Following the release of Take Time while in quarantine, Giveon did a lot of press for outlets like Vogue, Elle, and Complex. He also spent this time practicing piano, writing, and working in the studio. In September 2020, Giveon was given the honor of being on the cover of Spotify's inaugural R&B playlist and released 2 exclusive singles, one a cover of D'Angelo's Untitled How Does It Feel and an acoustic version of Like I Want You. In October, Giveon released When It's All Said and Done, his second EP. In continuation to his first EP, it discusses the emotions that follow once a relationship ends. It features a collaboration with Snow Allegra, Last Time. This was a full circle moment for Giveon.
Serving a table and we have music playing and Fool For You is playing. It's one of Snow's songs. And I was like, what is this? Like, cause of her tone. And I was like, whoa, like, I want to work with this girl. And then I thought her inviting me on tour was like that full circle moment. I was like, yo, I said I wanted to do this and I did it. But this song, Last Time, is the full circle moment.
In November, Giveon did his first live television performance on Jimmy Kimmel. In December 2020, Giveon released an exclusive holiday cover of Oh Christmas Tree for Apple Music and was spotted on a vacation with Justine Skye over the holidays. To say 2020 was great for Giveon is an understatement.
You make my earthquake. Riding around your love is shaking me off and making my heart break. Cause you make my earthquake. You make my earthquake.
He earned a top 20 hit, a Grammy nomination, and has over 100 million streams. His mother went from cleaning her house to other artists' music to his. However, Giveon's success was bittersweet because his best year was a collectively bad one.
I kind of feel guilty about the success that I'm having.
Gotcha.
Because of just the way society is. Yeah, I want to celebrate like Take Time, hitting 100 million streams, or all these accolades, but then my cousin just got laid off because of coronavirus, right. And they're on unemployment. Yeah. So it's like I don't really want to like broadcast the stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
He also didn't get to fully experience the fruits of his newfound fame by touring. This year, in January 2021, Take Time debuted at number 190 on the Billboard 200 chart. This EP, debuting nearly a year later, highlights the longevity of good music. It also shows that Giveon could have held out on releasing his second EP and instead focused on exploiting Take Time to its fullest extent. Like I Want You deserved the Jimmy Kimmel performance rather than Stuck on You. While Giveon did a lot of press, it would have been great to see him do more virtual performances. This year, he plans to release his debut album. With a unique voice, great mindset, and a small team invested in his success, the world is Giveon's oyster. I'm confident that he'll be ready for whatever comes his way, as evidenced by his ability to take full advantage of his Drake collaboration despite not knowing when it would be released. Giveon is relatable, connecting with his fans through his lyrics and frequent shows of appreciation. While Giveon has crafted his own sound, there's room for more versatility. Giveon has said himself that he's not an experimental artist, which is fine, but I hate to see him sell himself short. To diversify his sound, he should collaborate across genres. The opportunities for Giveon are endless. With his model proportions, Giveon should be in high-end, minimalist designer brand campaigns. If you've seen his videos, you'll notice a vehicle in almost every one of them. Therefore, it would make sense for Giveon to partner with a car brand for a product placement deal, commercial, or something along those lines like we've seen Masego do with Porsche and Trevor Jackson with Lexus. These are my thoughts on Giveon. What are yours? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.